The Haze. So The Haze started as a project from our web series class where I wanted to pay homage to some of my favorite and some of the greatest uh, films in the horror genre. But not so much just the films themselves, but the techniques and the styles of those films and how they've affected and influenced cinema as a whole. Horror is obviously one of the biggest genres in the world, and it's also one of the few genres where the indie film can be extremely successful, like in the case of like Paranormal Activity, which I think was made for like $15,000. That was another reason why I chose it, was I felt like the DIY aspect in it was very easy to achieve. That's one of the reasons why I named it The Haze, because I love the concept of hazing a set to carry light through it, and also the illusion and the vibe that it creates. Episode 1, Machete Man, is almost solely influenced from horror films of the 70s, specifically the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The character Machete Man and Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre have some similarities in the sense that you don't really see their face, you really don't know their motive, and they're just wielding a giant weapon, chasing people and killing people. Episode 1, is just really based off that idea of let's create this classic chase scene that ends in him getting caught versus him getting away, as in many horror films. Episode 2 was really, really based off American Psycho. I kind of played on that by naming it American Cuisine. That scene in American Psycho where Patrick Bateman chops up his victim while listening to Huey Lewis in the news. That's kind of what I wanted to play on. In mine, this guy is chopping up or preparing his meal while listening to this Nathaniel Radcliffe song that was really upbeat and really kind of happy, really kind of a dance tune. But in American Psycho, Patrick Bateman gets very angry and stuff. But in mine, he's jubilant. He's dancing, he's drinking, he's having a great time. To eventually, he kind of has a downfall and he kind of feels kind of sick for what he's done. The second half of the inspiration for that episode was also Hannibal Lecter, in that classic scene in Silence of the Lambs where he's slicing up those guards to the beat of his classical music. Was also kind of what I was going for, the way he cuts and he's really in tune with the music. That later half of episode 2, where my main character feeds what is hinted at as human to his friends and family at a barbecue, is actually inspired by a true story of a serial killer named Nathaniel Jonah that supposedly did that. I remember I read about that way before I started the series, and as soon as I started The Haze, I knew I wanted to recreate that and touch on that, because that has to be one of the most sinister things I've ever heard. But in the case of my story, the character doesn't see it that way. He sees it as he's giving a gift to his friends, that he's feeding them, that he's doing this nice thing for them. Episode 3 is kind of a loosely based off A Nightmare on Elm Street. This idea that you're trapped in your own dream. But in my case, it's not Freddy Krueger, it's his wife. So it's his subconscious that's killing him in his dream, not a killer.